Today we'll be talking about definitions and biconditionals, and we're going to start with the definition of perpendicular. Perpendicular means having lines, planes, rays, etc., which intersect to form right angles. Here we have two lines that intersect to form a right angle. Next to it we have a line and a plane that intersect to form a right angle, which of course we mean 90-degree angle. A biconditional statement is a statement that contains the words if and only if, like writing the conditional and its converse at the same time. To be a true biconditional, it has to be able to be read forward and backward, and you'll see what we mean very shortly here. Let's say that we wanted to write the following as a biconditional. A right angle measures 90 degrees. Well, the way we would write this as a biconditional is we would say, just a moment, let's go back, is we would say an angle is a right angle if and only if it measures 90 degrees. And we want to make sure that can be read forward and backwards. It's a right angle if it measures 90 degrees. If it measures 90 degrees, well, actually write it as a conditional statement. If it's a right angle, then it measures 90 degrees. If it measures 90 degrees, then it's a right angle. That's true both forward and backwards. That's why we can write it as a biconditional statement and have it be true. Now, let's move on to another example. Now, you can write as a biconditional. It doesn't necessarily mean that it's true. If I had this statement, x equals 3 if and only if x squared equals 9. Is that a biconditional? Well, yes, it is, because we've got the words if and only if, so we'll say yes. But is it true? Now, does it work both ways? If x is 3, then x squared equals 9? Yes, that makes sense. But how about backwards? If x squared equals 9, is x always 3? Well, no, not always, because let's take a look now at both those statements. We said if x equals 3, then x squared equals 9. We said that was true. But going backwards, if x squared equals 9, then in order for this to be true, x would have to be 3, and that is false. And do you know why? There's something else that works as well as 3. X could be negative 3, because negative 3 squared also equals 9. So even though that is a biconditional, it's not true. Okay, because x could also be 3. So we'll be getting some practice on this. Again, it just takes practice, just like learning the conditionals and the inverse and contrapositive and so forth. This just takes practice. So stick with it. Thank you very much for joining me.